Hey guys, Brent Boyer from Adam again. So let's talk divorce. First of all, please like and subscribe to the video. That way we know the content's getting out to the right people and that you like what we're putting out there. So I wanted to talk today about a topic that comes up a lot: how to keep the costs down in your divorce. Are there things that you can do that will help minimize costs, keep costs under control during your divorce process? Well, there are some things. We have some answers for you today. So please remember to like and subscribe to the video. And going through this list here of some things that can help you keep the costs down, number one that kind of jumps out is know what your assets and your debts are. Know the assets, know the debts, know the budget. Get a sense of all that. It doesn't have to be before you file, but very early on in the process, you're going to need to know what you have, what you own, what you owe, what are the monthly bills. It's typical in a relationship that one person knows most of that and is on top of things, knows what bills are being paid and what things cost, and that the other person might be a little in the dark or totally in the dark when it comes to that stuff. It does not take two people to pay the bills or make those decisions, so it's easier for that to start to become something one person handles, the other person does not. So you want to be aware of those things. It'll save time, save money, give you a better sense of where you are and what's going on and what to expect. So know the assets. If you have a house, get a sense of what you think it's worth, how much you owe on the mortgage, what's your mortgage payment, get a sense of those types of issues. If you have retirement accounts, what's roughly the current balance on those accounts, what type of accounts, is it an IRA, is it a 403B, a 401k, whatever. If there's a pension, a defined benefit plan, you want to be aware of that and some idea of what that might pay. If there's health insurance, which I'm sure there is, you want to get a sense of what does that cost, what does it cost for me to cover the kids if I have kids. So you want to get some of the financials in order, get a sense of what you got, so that when you're going to talk to a divorce attorney, you're already on top of kind of what you know are going to be basic questions about your life, your finances, and what you need to know. And any good attorney can give you a list of what you should look at, what you need to work on, but that gives you a general idea on that. So one thing, know your finances, know your assets, know your debts. A second thing to look at that'll help keep costs down in your divorce case is prioritize your issues. Early on, try to get a sense of how you want to see things go, what's important to you and what's not. Is it important for you to keep the house, or you sort of can go either way on that? You want to be aware of those issues. Where are you at with custody and parenting time if you have kids? Is it important for you for exactly what the schedule is going to be, exactly what parenting time you want, or are you kind of flexible on that? Are you worried about who gets what car, or is that already pretty clear? So make sure you know what issues are important to you in your divorce case so you can prioritize those things. You don't want to be in disputes or fighting about things that, when you look at it big picture, really don't matter to you anyways. You want to keep things going, keep it moving along, so there's not going to be increased costs and increased time spent over disputes with something that maybe isn't that important to you. Another idea here with keeping costs down with your divorce case is try to reach an agreement on as many things as possible. It might sound obvious, but it gets tempting, I think, for a lot of reasons in a divorce to start running everything through your attorney or having your attorney work out all the details. And you're much better off once you get into the process and you get to a point where you can have meaningful, reasonable discussions with your wife. Get a sense of what you can agree on. Make a list of what's in dispute and see how many of those things you can knock off the list before you ever have lawyers or anyone else looking at it. That'll help keep your costs down. If you know you can agree on who's going to get the house and you've got a lot of that already figured out, then you want to flush out those details, work out some agreements on that at the very beginning. Then it's not wasting time and money having somebody figure something out that you really could have just done yourself. Whether it's houses or cars or retirement accounts, other assets, or issues with custody, parenting time, whatever it might be related to kids. You want to work those things out as best you can. It might not be day one, it might not be before the divorce is filed, but early on in the process, you want to really start narrowing down what is in dispute, what are your issues. Another way to try to keep costs down is choose your attorney wisely. There are attorneys, and I say this all the time, there are attorneys that charge twice as much as we do, and there are attorneys that charge less than we do, and there are attorneys right around what we charge. So you want to get a sense of how the fees work with the attorney that you're talking to handling your divorce case, or who you're considering. How's this going to work? What's an average cost? What's to be expected? What kind of things are going to cause the cost to go higher? And you want to know about that. Get a sense of what that looks like. You don't want to be finding out later that you hired the attorney that charges twice as much as everybody else and really you're not getting twice as much work out of it, you're just getting your divorce case done. So you want to be aware of that, get a sense of who your attorney is, how they charge, what they're known for before you make a decision to hire somebody, so that you know where you stand on those issues. Another thing to keep in mind with divorce attorneys and looking at what things cost in your divorce is you should be looking at the fact, keep in mind divorce attorneys charge for their time. So it's not something where you're going to want to hire the attorney and then be calling them all the time and taking up all their time. Get a sense of what your questions are after the initial meeting. Get a sense of what you need to do, get that together, and then contact the attorney about what you might need. Send them an email, schedule a phone call. You don't want to be calling 3-4 times a week because it just causes you to be charged every time you're talking to the attorney, and that can run up your bill. You end up with too much communication as opposed to too little. Either one's a problem. Too much turns into too much cost. So you want to avoid that where you can. Be reasonable about the contact. Be reasonable about what you expect, how much time you think is going to be needed to help you through this divorce process. So that's another thing to consider. And one final thought on keeping costs down in your divorce case is you want to be aware of keeping records of everything. Get a sense of what you have, what you're looking at, what are the details. There may be things that really aren't that important. You want to prioritize those things. You're going to want to try to get organized early on so that you have the documents that your attorney might need. You have copies of tax returns, you have pay stubs, you have whatever it is. Then you have those things that are available. It saves time, saves money. You don't want attorneys having to try to chase down bank statements that might be important for your divorce. You want to get a sense of, here's the overview, here's what we're going to need, and then you want to do everything you can in your power to make sure those documents get taken care of, get handled, get sent to your attorney so that you know things are being taken care of the right way. So hopefully that helps. Any questions, of course, feel free to email me or give me a call. Those are some thoughts on how to keep your costs down during a divorce.